My name's Andy. I'd like to thank you for letting me talk today. And I'd also like to thank those that have contributed to my journey. I'm up here with a rather difficult situation at the moment, in that I'm both a technologist. I like to call myself a sort of a digital health champion, and this is very much my work. I'm a bit of a geek as far as that's concerned. But I have a very special focus at the moment. I have a very seriously ill daughter, and one of my main aims at the moment is to keep my daughter out of hospital and also in the land of the living. Now, if I had $1 million or several £1 million in my back pocket, what would I do with it to help keep my daughter out of hospital and a lot of other people in a similar state of or similar situation? And that would be to have more assistance in some special ways. And over the weekend, from having something along the lines of a health companion, I've realized that it's more than a companion, more than a simple assistant. So I want to introduce my concept or thinking around what is an intelligent sort of portal website and integrated toolset, which I call MIA, which stands for My Intelligent Health Assistant. So MIA is something that will help me, my family, my daughter, and hopefully many thousands of other people in a similar situation. Now, the situation that I'm in, my daughter has a serious form of cancer, which is now quite aggressive, and certainly part of the problem is being addressed by what we have available in the sort of clinical world, where we're being supported. Bristol Children's Hospital and many other providers are doing a very good job to a point in terms of being able to fight or work with this particular condition. But actually we're not really able to manage it very well, and at the moment, and I would, or MIA is very much about bringing together more technology and support in a more coordinated, integrated way, and helping us address the imbalances both from a physiology point of view and from a mental state. A key problem at the moment with certain conditions is that we have too much of one size fits all. We very much need to personalize and target treatment and care. But in order to do that, we need much more data coming together. And in many cases, this is really quite complicated. For our situation with this condition, it's being able to go down to another level of depth, to a molecular level, and be able to understand and work with that. So our basic pathology can go so far. It's a case of taking that further so that we can map the condition. And also, when we can map the condition, we can also use our technology, our data, and such a solution to better coordinate care and support, because there's so much wonderful stuff out there, or a lot of stuff, especially in crisis, but it's often not very coordinated, and the information doesn't provide or doesn't flow very well. So having an assistant or some intelligent technology that helps bring it together will make a serious difference. So very much like Ben was talking about using technology to better trend and track, this is along those lines, and looking at how we can personalize a solution or our treatment. Now I'd like to, one key point here is that, yes, as a sort of technologist, that's one aspect of it, but a key part of this is that the technology really helps the user. And I would like to introduce Alan, who has been helping me realize and think from different angles, especially how this can help my daughter at the end of the day. So Alan, if I can ask you to sort of go through some of the things that we've looked at earlier today.
Yes, so I'd like to speak on behalf of young people with cancer facing life-threatening conditions, and what it's like, having a dad who's trying to help me, nag me sometimes, and he's come up with this idea that sounds pretty cool to me, and I'd like it to be cool and fun, and I think he's talking about an system that would be on a portal, would be digital, and it would enable a few things. One would be for me to get an idea of reminders of all of the things that help me feel good, that good times that we've had together, things that make me feel good, that help my own self-help, because that's important. And we've had a conversation. One of the things that we really like is fast rivers. Dad and me have been on the Y and going down the rapids, and it's fun, but it's scary. And to be honest, that's a bit like how my life feels at the moment. So we've been down in a one-person canoe, sometimes in two people in the canoe. Sometimes it's inflatable, sometimes it collapses. So these are the images that I can relate to. And the Mere is a bit like a canoe, whether it's inflatable or not. It helps us keep alert, but it's a powerful river that we're going down, and we don't really know what lies ahead always. What I want out of my Mere is something that we can work with together, that helps him not worry about me so much, helps me feel good about myself and reminds me of all of the things that I like in my life, keeps me in touch with my friends, because RealShare locally in Bristol has set up good social media connections for other young people facing the things that I'm facing with. But the other thing that I want it to do, not only to help me and to help him and Mum and my sister, but is to keep in touch with my GP and the hospital, so that when I do feel unwell, I can get good information quickly about what I'm worried about. Doesn't overload me, because to be honest, I've had it with doctors and hospitals, but there are times when I get scared, so I just want good information quickly and easily, so we know what to do, and we don't have to worry too much, and we can remember the good times.
Mm-hmm. So yes, that's I think a good view from a user, from a dad who's really wanting to do the best he possibly can. And yes, we have the technology such as Ben has introduced that can help us go to that other or next level where we can much better manage a condition and ultimately get a cure or a better cure at the end of the day. Thank you. So, any questions?
I'm just wondering, Andy, what stage you are with developing this?
Right. Well, we've had a year since the last event when I wasn't so intensely focused on the condition of my daughter. So we've looked at something along the lines of a discharge companion channel. So that this is sort of partially modelled on. So there's a year work that's sort of led to this, and now it's being sort of remodeled so that it can best help those with such a serious condition. And focusing on, or for me, I'm now having to look very seriously at what can be done, what is state of the art. So it's very much in its infancy in terms of working with a complex condition like this. So it's very much in its infancy.
I didn't hear you mention quantified self then, Andy, but I know from some of our previous conversations that you have quite a clear idea on some of the specific bits of technology that would or could feed in data into some MIA interface. And I wonder if you could speak to how, why is Bristol good? And it's a bit of a leading question, but I know that, so it's to just sort of share with Sphere and with the Bristol Robotics Laboratory as an example of some of the modular bits of a solution that, I wonder if you are still thinking with the evolution of the idea that you just spoke of, about working with some of the local data producing initiatives.
Oh, very much so, and I think that should support or sort of go with what you were asking in terms of where we are with this. And I don't want to sort of use too many buzzwords. I mean, I got really excited some years back about the quantified self, and I could spend a whole day talking about the quantified self. And I know that we have a lot of great tools around us, and Bristol and the Southwest, I think, has some great technology solutions. We have pockets of all sorts of things. Sphere, for example, is bringing or a focal point for a lot of really sophisticated home monitoring. Bristol is open, or this opportunity to be working with a much faster, better internet is really going to help the likes of MIA from the point of view of large amounts of certain data flowing in the right way. So that is a key part of it. So yes, I like to think that, well, in fact, it's I really want to see George Ferguson's Lab for Change coming to reality, and I think yes, I like to believe I'm very much in the right place to create something very special like this.
I wonder if, again, it's perhaps not just a question, but conversations with Phil earlier, the possibility you described to me, waking up in the morning and being able to, you or perhaps your daughter waking up and being able to ask what should or could I do today, and the AI or MIA having enough information feeds and algorithmical processing to be able to perhaps say, well, you haven't walked that many steps this week, consider walking more steps. So the question is just, if you, how did that conversation with Phil go about, who is an AI expert? Do you feel that some of those AI components are also quite close in the mix, along with the hardware technology?
Well, I do. I still need to get my head around how that that can be coming together. But yes, I mean, I've every morning now with my systems or my Microsoft 10 solution on Cortana, it asks me, you know, how are you today? Can I help? And I think, you know, yeah, you really should be able to, but I know you're too silly now to not be able to do very much. But I know that that we can go beyond that, providing something like Katana is fed with the right information and it's personalized, because that's the key thing. You need to be personalizing the solution so that, yes, when first thing for me and for my daughter, she can appreciate that, and without hopefully being nagging, that she really does need to do or be more active in order to help that physiology and help that all important balance that we need to be regaining. So the sort of dashboard that I have and the dashboard that my daughter has, or the prompts, the nudges, can be there, and yes, we need to have a certain amount of intelligence in the system so that they can be tailored and personalized to the needs that we have.
That actually helps me a lot. You just said Katana. Yeah. So I think what I'm really hearing is you're thinking about a personalised Katana.
Well, the thing is, you see, that's one element of it. I mean, for me, especially with this particular condition, you need to be feeding Katana with some really special or some important data. So, in terms of this in cancer, where we're going down to sort of a molecular level, in order to feed Katana, we need to have all sorts of special monitoring and diagnostics. So the likes of Ben's tool is one. So when I said an integrated tool set, so we can have all sorts of wearables, things that my daughter in this case finds cool, so that would feed in to, so rather than having sort of a Katana that's all sort of very general, this is one that's being able to bring together all sorts of special data, analyze it, synthesize it, and use algorithms to make sense of it and to simplify it. Because yes, there is such an amazing amount of sort of data and stuff that we have to try and understand and work with, that it's really complex.
I mean, in terms of gathering that data, you're talking about like chemical levels within the blood or within.
So yes, I mean we're just beginning to understand the neurochemistry to the point where we can quantify the correlation between stress and the triggers that we have with cancer. So yes, being able to quantify our system's biology, our neurochemistry is a key thing. So yes, and it's that this is one of the frustrating things that's keeping me up at night, in that I need to sort of be pushing people around me, the clinicians, to go deeper, to do more, because I know that we have pockets that of sort of knowledge in terms of where that's at, but it's not in clinical practice.
And just to say that following your presentation, I'm going to go on to talk a bit more about the updates. Ro and I have been working a bit on the information flow of things. So to keep with timings, sort of not right this moment. Yeah, please.
Just exploring that piece around supporting patients and having an aspect of it that supports the patient. I'm just wondering if there's an opportunity there perhaps to link into a patient group, something that's curated, because we're talking about children here. I'm thinking not necessarily link people directly up, but link to curated patient groups, so they've got a sort of go-to support network. Because from my perspective, I think no one understands someone's condition like another condition suffering.
Sure, and that's one of the elements that I would very much like Mia to work with. I'm trying very much at the moment. I've linked up to a special group out in the US that is so yes, that's really important, especially with improving our sort of level of knowledge with of the condition, to be able to understand how to manage the condition. And in many cases, especially with pediatric cancer, there are sort of pockets of knowledge and understanding, but it's quite limited. We really need to be bringing that together. So one of the things that Mia needs to be doing is not just supporting my daughter, my family, and also the circle of carers. It also hopefully will be linking us into the research community and to sort of special user groups with a similar situation in other parts of the world. So yeah, that's a very important part. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing.